Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. So every once in a while, it's good to get a little dose of reality. And around here, it's even better when you can combine that dose of reality with a business lesson. I had just such an occasion last weekend, so let me explain. You know, for a long time, I've sort of had a little bit of a rotator cuff problem. You know, probably pitching all those little league practices and things like that. Nothing too big. You know, every once in a while it hurts a lot. A little ice, a little aspirin, a little Motrin, Advil, whatever, and it seems to go away. But last weekend, you know, it didn't bother me all week, and last weekend it seemed to be getting a lot worse. And no matter what I did, it didn't seem to help. You know, and by Saturday night, it was sort of like radiating up into my neck and all the way down my arm. It was a little painful. And, you know, I didn't complain much about it, but I did sort of as we got towards dinner time. And my wife and daughter, they knew something was wrong because we'd planned to go to the movies last Saturday night. And I said, you know, I don't really feel like it. And that's when my wife knows that something's really wrong. So I kind of explained what was going on and what the pain was. And the thing is, the first thing she's thinking, because of my age, she's thinking, oh my God, pain going up and down his arm, he could be having a heart attack. Now, I didn't really think I was having a heart attack, and I don't think she really thought I was having a heart attack. But as she said, as she bundled me into the car to take me to the emergency room, if you are having a heart attack and we don't go, we're going to feel a little stupid. And I sort of agreed with her on that one. So we go off to the emergency room. Now, here's how sick I am. I'm going to the emergency room on a Saturday night. It's about 8:30 at night. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, this is going to be a nightmare experience, but I'm going to get a FaceTime commentary out of it, so it's okay. She didn't quite feel the same way about it that I did, but I'm thinking, okay, you know, like Nora Ephron used to say, everything is copy. So we go to the emergency room. We go in, and it's like 8:30, 8:40 at night, stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is going to be a long, long evening. We go up to the receptionist. We tell her my name, and I tell her the problem. And she says, which arm? And I said, well, it's my right arm. She goes, relax a little bit. It's usually when somebody's having a heart attack, the pain is usually going up and down their left arm. So I felt a little bit better. But then she said, but that's only usually. Sometimes it can be the right arm. So she took all my insurance information, took all that stuff, said, why don't you and your wife go sit over in the waiting room? And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, the nightmare begins, right? We're not in the waiting room more than 5-6 minutes, and they call us into a room. And at that point, they strap me in, and they do an EKG, and they're checking my vitals and all that kind of stuff. And my EKG is great. They say, hey, your heart's fine, as far as we can tell. But because you have a history of heart disease in your family, my father's had bypass surgery, we're going to do some more testing because we want to be absolutely sure. So they take me into another room, and at that point they do a series of blood tests, and they send me off for a chest x-ray and a shoulder x-ray because they want to see what's going on there. And we're there, and I got to tell you, now first of all, the people that we're talking to are about as nice and as pleasant and as informative as I can imagine emergency room personnel being. I mean, they were terrific. They were absolutely great. And at no point did I feel like I was being rushed along or not being paid attention to. I didn't feel like anybody was standing around doing nothing. I just felt like, man, this is great. This is really working out. So they do this whole thing. And spoiler alert, I survived, okay? We're there for about 2 hours, and they come back to us and say, listen, everything is great. Your heart is great. Your blood levels are great. Everything is terrific. We think you ought to go see an orthopedist. And that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'll let you know how that goes. But the thing that was interesting to me was, and this is an experience that really could have been awful. And, you know, through a combination of being both very effective and very efficient, it wasn't awful. It actually, you know, turned out pretty good. I felt like I dodged a bullet. Not only did I not have a heart attack, but I walked out of the hospital thinking, hey, my heart's great, my blood is great. How terrific is that? But the thing is and that's a business lesson for so many of us, because, you know, there's a lot of experiences that we expect to be, you know, really, really bad. Sometimes it's supermarket shopping, sometimes it's buying a car, and sometimes it's going to the hospital emergency room. But the thing is, through a combination of being informative, effective, efficient, the people in charge of that experience can make it far less so. And that's a really important lesson, that we have control. If we are controlling the experience, if we're the people providing the service, we have control over how positive or negative that experience can be. And I think that's a very important lesson. We can make a difference in the part of our customers. We can turn something from being a nightmare into being, if not a dream, at least something pretty pleasant. So, I think that's something we all have to, you'll excuse the pun, take to heart. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.